experience feelings of affection and admiration for brands and companies that do well by us, and we feel insult or even rage when we believe that those companies have treated us badly. An email to Princeton. Chris first stumbled upon academic research on warmth and competence in 2009 and wondered if the social science behind its insights might help explain the kinds of loyalty and relationships we form with companies and brands. Having previously marketed products at both Procter & Gamble and Coca-Cola, as well as promoted professional athletes at the NBA and NHL, he wrote a white paper that integrated warmth and competence theory with customer relationship research. In May 2010, Chris sent a copy of the white paper in an unsolicited email to Susan with the heading, "I've become a fan of your work." He proposed meeting for lunch to discuss possible areas of research collaboration. As Princeton's Eugene Higgins Professor of Psychology and Public Affairs, Susan has researched and written extensively about how perceptions of warmth and competence contribute to the common human tendencies toward stereotyping, prejudice, and discrimination. For 20 years or more, she has documented how popular perceptions of ethnic, gender, and occupational group members held by the society at large lead to stereotyped images, emotional prejudices, and discriminatory behavior toward individuals within those groups. From her childhood, Susan had experienced the contrasting values of warmth and competence as embodied by her two grandmothers. Her father's mother was a warm and kind woman, a classic grandma. Susan's earliest memories recall her grandmother reaching into her huge purse to retrieve candy and golden books to read aloud on long car rides. Susan's grandmother on the other side of her family was very different. She was a distant but admirable figure, a Harvard-trained economist who, according to family legend, conducted the first unemployment census in Massachusetts. But Susan does not remember her as a warm and comfy grandmother. Years later, as Susan pondered how to balance family and career and the seeming need to trade off between warmth and competence as her grandmothers had done, she grew more curious about the subject and began to conduct experiments and surveys to explore it in depth. As Susan developed the theory of warmth and competence, her studies and those of other researchers showed that as much as 82% of our judgments of others can be predicted by these two categories of perception. Not long after Chris and Susan's first conversation, the two began researching the application of warmth and competence theory to companies and brands. Beginning in June 2010, this unique collaboration has evaluated more than 45 companies and brands in 10 separate studies. The research documents the extent to which many major companies and brands are perceived as lacking in both warmth and competence. They are seen as selfish, greedy, and concerned only with their own immediate gain. In fact, nearly every one of the companies and brands studied in this research has fallen short of customer expectations for honesty and worthy intentions, behaviors indicative of warmth and competence. The research also reveals striking psychological evidence for why people hate banks, oil companies, and cable companies so much. The constant pressure for faster and larger profits has steered companies in these and other industries into violating all the prerequisites for trust that we unconsciously expect of them. And yet there is another side to this coin. When companies held in high esteem for warmth and competence make errors and stumble, they are able to recover from those errors, building even more genuine, trusting, and lasting relationships with customers. We prefer to forgive companies we like, as we would other people we like if we value the relationships and perceive that their intentions were good. These insights arrive at a time of rapid change and uncertainty in our economic life. Large companies and brands that once seemed invincible are struggling and steadily losing market share, calling into question much of what they believed about running a successful business. American Airlines is besieged by smaller, friendlier Southwest, just as Gap has been besieged by Lululemon. And who can forget Blockbuster, the once dominant video rentals service, noteworthy for profiting on its punitive late return fees. The company was bankrupted within a span of a few years when Netflix came along.